Hello, Libra friends, and welcome to your November 2025 Tarot and Numerology reading, as well as your detailed Vedic astrology forecast, which includes the November 5th full moon and the November 19th new moon. So Libra, you have a lot of activations for your second house of finances and really lovely yogas happening with Venus, your Lagna Lord, your ruling planet, being exalted and in your first house. We will get into that a little bit later in the astrology portion of the video, but really some good news for you, Libra. But really some lovely asterisms for you this month, Libra, especially with regard to your self and health and also your finances. If you're new to Vedic Sidereal Astrology, a quick and easy way to know your Vedic Sun Sign is if your birthday is from October 18th to November 16th, then you are a Libra Sun in Vedic Sidereal Astrology. If you're used to Western tropical, it may seem weird to you, but check it out. Vedic uses accurate real-time data of the planetary positions, and you may find that this gives really good, accurate predictions for how these subtle planetary energies affect you. So this November 2025 horoscope, tarot, and astrology is for Libra rising, Libra moon, and Libra sun. We're going to start with tarot and numerology, then we'll get into the detailed astrological transits. Chapters are time-stamped, so you can skip ahead if you like to. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to Anastasia Tarot and Vedic Astrology, where I help you navigate the cosmic currents and surf the planetary wavelengths with a little more ease and grace. As always with collective readings, take what aligns and leave the rest behind. So now, Libra, let's get into your tarot and numerology. Okay, Libra, welcome to your November 2025 tarot reading and happy birthday, Libra sun signs. You are starting this month of November with Sun and your beautiful benefic Lagna Lord Venus over your first house. So quite an auspicious beginning for the month. So we are going to pull 6 cards for you. Past, present, future, and what to avoid and what to lean into. And we're going to pick the 6th card using numerology. So we have 20 plus 8 plus 7 plus 10 plus 17 equals 62, and 6 plus 2 equals 8. And card number 8 in this deck is Justice, La Justice. This is literally your card, Libra. So a little pat on the back from Tarot. I love it when Tarot does things like that. And you have a lot of personal power going on in this month of November, Libra. And I think Tarot is really kind of emphasizing that by serving up your card, Justice, as the numerology card for this spread. So first of all, Libra, in the past, you may have had some, pretty extreme changes that were going on. And, looking at, I know you have Saturn activating your 6th house. So you may have had some attention on, your health and your daily grind, your daily schedule, work-life balance. So it could have been that you were following some intuition or guidance to create better work-life balance, better, healthier habits for your daily schedule. And, again, this is not going to apply to all Libras, but it does look like there was definitely some pretty major changes in your past of a beneficial nature. There is this idea of awakening with the Judgment card. Now, the present energy going on for November is this Eight of Wands. So you may be quite busy during November, Libra. And I know, it's starting to be the holiday season, so it can be a busy time for all of us. But especially, you have this first house activation, with lovely Venus exalted, Venus is in your sign, so she's in domicile. So a lot of communication, letters, phone calls, text, emails, social post, visiting with people. So just a lot of busyness and communication. And again, really quite nice. Now, one thing, Libra, is even before I pulled this numerology card, out of a 6-card spread, you had 3 major arcana. You had Judgment, Chariot, and the Star. So that's quite interesting. The odds are, in a 6-card spread, randomly, you might get 1, maybe 2 major arcana, but to get 3 trump cards in a 6-card spread is notable. And again, I feel that Tarot is really showing us that this is a power time for you. And with this Chariot in the future, Libra, eyes on the prize, right? Keep your eyes on the road, hands on the wheel. You're driving your chariot through any obstacles that might be coming up for you. And again, we see this in your astrology. When we get into the astrology, you have your Lagna Lord is in domicile in your first house. You have Mars is in domicile in your second house of finances. And your Lagna Lord being in the first house is forming a Hamsa Yoga, which elevates your personal power, your, personal charisma, magnetism. And you also have another Hamsa Yoga with this exalted Jupiter in Cancer in your career house. So Libra, this could be really quite power time for you career-wise with this Hamsa Yoga, exalted Jupiter activating your 10th house. You have a lot of second house activation going toward, the second part of the month especially. So this Chariot, really quite a nice card, Libra, speaking to this, elevation of your personal power that you're going to see this month. Now, things to avoid, and Tarot seems to have a sense of humor with you this month, Libra. So things to avoid is the Ten of Swords, which is ruin, suffering, pain, agony. So yes, we all want to avoid those things. I feel like, Libra, if we think about nature, right? Wildfires are very destructive, but they actually burn away a lot of underbrush, and they are very much part of the natural cycle of things. So we can see even with a wildfire that nature is giving us something that actually helps. The wildfire clears out the underbrush, and all the ashes and everything go into the earth and replenish the earth. On the other hand, swords are air, and, a tornado just really doesn't do anything positive. So, a windstorm is simply destructive. And so when the mind becomes stormy, it can be extremely destructive. So taking this on a more spiritual level, Libra, obviously we all want to avoid suffering And we want to avoid causing suffering to others, but taking this on a spiritual level, this is avoid letting your mind getting too out of control or letting swords come to your mind, storms come to your mind. Really, with this first house, lovely benefic Venus in your first house, there may be a temptation, Libra, to leave off your spiritual practices, right? Everything is going great and you felt like you didn't need to keep up with your spiritual practices. You felt like you didn't need to keep up with your self-care, lifestyle, supporting health and spirituality. So just be aware of that, Libra, with all of this good energy. Remember that these practices of meditation and self-care, they're not just for when times are bad, right? That can sometimes be the most difficult lesson for human beings in general, and especially for you, Libra, with Venus as your Lagna Lord, is remember to keep up with all your good habits that support your mental, physical, and spiritual health. Even when things are going great, still keep up with those benefic habits. Now, things to lean into is the star, and this is just a lovely card. So again, this could be that you're seeing friends and family around the holiday, people you haven't seen for some time, for some Libras, and indeed for many people in, at least in the United States. You are going to see people you haven't seen for a while during the Thanksgiving holiday. So for some Libras, really, reconnecting with people from your past. And this star also speaks to your star quality, Libra. Your chart is very much elevated right now. Again, in the beginning part of the month, you've got Sun and Venus over your first house. By the end of the month, it's just Venus, but she's a really strong Venus in your first house of self and health. Your second house of finances is activated. Your 10th house of career is activated. And so, Libra, you definitely have supercharged charisma and star quality. And so now's the time to lean into that and really enjoy it. This is a month for you to shine. And of course, with justice, I feel like justice is a mediator, and I know, Libra, you're all about balance. Justice is kind of a mediator here between these two cards. Like as you're leaning into, the fun and enjoyment of this star card, the regeneration and reconnecting with this star card, versus, letting the mind get out of control if you're spending too much time socializing with other people, or, again, with all this 10th house and second house activation, it might be very tempting to really, put your full attention on work. And so this justice card really speaks to your dharma as someone who creates harmony and balance, Libra. So just remember, keep your harmony and balance. That is your dharma as a Libra. And remember to keep with the beneficial practices for spiritual, emotional, and physical health, even as you're putting, full steam ahead with career and social types of activities. Okay, Libra, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. And up next, we're going to get into your Vedic astrology forecast, where we're going to go house by house, planet by planet. Hello, Libra friends, and welcome to your November 2025 horoscope. Libra, you've got some really sweet asterisms happening during this month of November. Some really good vibes elevating your chart. We'll get into that later. And happy birthday to Libra sun signs. Now, if you're new getting into Vedic astrology, you have Libra Sun Sign if your birthday falls from October 18th to November 16th. That is the Libra Sun Sign according to Vedic Sidereal Astrology. Okay, so that being said, this horoscope is for Libra rising, Libra moon, and Libra sun as per Vedic Sidereal Astrology. And we're going to start the video with looking at the beginning of the month, the full moon on November 5th, and then we'll get a look at the end of the month going into the new moon on November 19th. So first of all, Libra, you have, in the beginning part of the month, you have this lovely, lovely activation of your first house. Sun is in the first house, and your Lagna Lord, Venus, is in your first house. And this combination of Sun and Venus in your first house, this is just a lovely asterism. It supports your personality, your health, your vitality, and it just elevates your general luck factor and your personal power factor. The other thing you've got going on is Venus in domicile, Venus in Libra, is creating a Malavya yoga for you, Libra. And this really is excellent for your charisma factor. And, for any Libras that work in any field where your charisma and your popularity is part of your work, or, creative fields having to do with, beauty, creativity, design, fashion, those types of career, all of those careers are going to get a benefit from this Malavya yoga. But all Libras, regardless of what type of career you have, this is quite a nice yoga that elevates your experience throughout the month of November. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to say for Libras who are looking for love, having this activation of Sun and Venus in your first house, you may find some romantic opportunities are coming to you, and they may be through your workplace. For Libras who are looking for love and romantic connection, this first house activation with Venus and the Sun can potentially support that. The other thing you've got going on is you have Jupiter in 10th house exalted in Cancer. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer once every 12 years. And this is happening in your 10th house of career. So this can really be a time of career growth for you, Libra. And this exalted Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house forms a Hamsa yoga. And especially for Libras, if you work in the teaching, education, counseling, guidance, any of those careers where you're teaching or guiding other people, those careers are really going to get a benefit from this Hamsa yoga. But again, Libras in any career are going to feel just a subtle elevation and career expansion from this Hamsa yoga. The other yoga that's quite nice for Libras, especially Libra students, Libra writers, and just more generally Libra creatives, you have a Sarasvati yoga is in effect from November 1st through the 23rd. So that's another really lovely benefic yoga that is elevating your chart. And again, that's especially for students, writers, and creatives. So really some good energy going on for you in November, Libra. Now, with this second house activation of Mars and Mercury in Scorpio, this is a little bit more complex. And so the first thing to know, what is second house? That is, finances. So definitely Libra, with Mars in the second house, you may have a lot of attention on your finances, a lot of motivation and energy when it comes to your finances, but do not make impulsive decisions. Really take some support. You've got Saturn over here in your sixth house, which is, the daily grind, your day-to-day schedule, your day-to-day work. So this combination of Saturn in your sixth house of the daily grind, Jupiter in your 10th house of career, and Mars in your second house of finances. Take a long view, Libra. Avoid impulsive financial decisions at this time. You may feel tempted to make impulsive decisions, but definitely lean into slow acting, slow moving slow acting, moving Saturn down here. Take a long view, resist the temptation to make, snap impulsive decisions when it comes to your finances. And Mercury and Mars together, these are sort of uncomfortable roommates. You do get some subtle support. Both Mercury and Mars are in Anuradha Nakshatra, which is a Saturn-ruled nakshatra. So again, what I mentioned about leaning into Saturn's lessons of taking a long view, being more deliberate, and proceeding slowly when it comes to financial, managing your finances. And also with regard to if you're in any kind of financial negotiations, Mercury is all about communication, Mars is the warrior planet. So if you are in any sort of financial negotiations, Libra, communicate strategically, think about those things strategically, and it may be a little bit rough, right? All this is happening in Scorpio, and Scorpio is a deeply emotional sign. So just be aware that you may get tempted to make emotional and impulsive decisions and communications about your finances, but lean into that slow-moving Saturn vibe to help you take a long view and be more deliberate about financial decisions and financial communications. Now, you continue with this activation of Rahu Ketu, activating your house of creativity and your house of gains. Again, with Ketu on the 11th house, there may be some unexpected, and Ketu is a chaos factor wherever it is. So it could be unexpected gains, unexpected losses. It could just be unexpected changes within your social networks, your wider social networks. So, just be aware that, Ketu is over here. So again, if you're feeling tempted to make some snap decisions, impulsive decisions about your finances, just remember with Ketu in the 11th house, you really want to be more circumspect about that. But all in all, Libra, you have a great luck factor in this beginning part of the month with Sun and Venus activating your first house. If you've been having health problems, they should improve with Venus's influence here and the Sun's influence here. That's going to improve your health and vitality. And again, this lovely, lovely activation of benefic exalted Jupiter in your career house. Okay, Libra, so now we're going to get into the new moon forecast for November 19th, and that'll give you a look at the second part of the month. Okay, Libra, looking at the latter part of the month, this is the new moon chart for November 19th. As you can see, you continue to have this really lucky, auspicious first house activation with your Lagna Lord Venus in your first house. But this new moon and this latter part of November really sees tremendous, tremendous activation of your second house of finances. So for Libras who do new moon meditation or any kind of new moon manifestation, that type of thing, this new moon plants the seeds that you would like to see grow over the next 2 weeks or even longer if your target is to go more long range. So this new moon in your second house of finances with your sun in your second house of finances, definitely this can be a good time to plant seeds for financial growth, and that can work quite nicely with with Jupiter in your 10th house of career. Now, this is somewhat complex. First of all, Libra, if you have any new launches in the works, keep in mind with Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and Jupiter retrograde, it is not the best time for new launches. You may want to wait until December when at least Mercury will be out of retrograde if you want to launch any sort of new projects. That being said, this Jupiter retrograde in your 10th house, that can actually work for you, Libra. Yes, Jupiter retrograde always brings do-overs. Any retrograde planet brings, do-overs. So you may find that you get some second chances in your career, and it's going to manifest in different ways for different Libras, but maybe it's a job offer comes through from a place you applied to and then thought, oh, nothing's going to happen. And now it comes back around and they come back and make you an offer. Or, for Libras who are self-employed, you may find that you're revisiting an idea or a project that you had abandoned ship on before, but now you're seeing the opportunity is presenting itself it's coming back around. So Libra, although it may not be the best time in November to launch new projects, you do have some good luck in revisiting some older projects, or some opportunity in your career is going to come back around for you. So that's quite nice. And it may be unexpected. Again, we've talked about this, K2 in your 11th house. So it may be completely unexpected. Now, with Mercury retrograde in the second house, as I said, your second house is activated. There's definitely an opportunity for financial growth here. Mars is very strong in Scorpio. Mars is going to bring vitality and energy to your finances. But with Mercury retrograde, not the best time to launch new ventures. However, Sun and Mars in your second house can work well to light a fire under your butt, as it were, for, achieving some of your financial goals. And again, as we discussed in the beginning part of the video, you just want to make sure that you're, giving Saturn over here in your 6th house, you're giving Saturn his due, and, make financial decisions based on taking a long view rather than anything impulsive. So Libra, that has been your November 2025 horoscope. Really, this should shape up to be quite a nice month for you. And if you enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. This is a tiny little channel, so every little bit helps the channel grow. Wishing you, Libra, the best of good health, peace, prosperity in November 2025. Namaste.